You get Dr. Sivi in the lab tonight instead of Dr. Tracy. He asked me to do this tonight, but in all seriousness, I did choose a topic that is near and dear to my heart. I'm going to share a little bit first about Dave and I's story and kind of how I fell in love with all things menopause and all things manopause. Yes, it's a real thing. It's actually called Andropause. And some of you may not even know it exists. But when I read you the symptoms, you're going to go, oh my gosh, that's my husband, or maybe not. But just get ready to take notes because I talk fast. And here's how it all started, you guys. Of course, you know, I'm a chiropractor. And when Dave was about, I think, 36, started getting this little man belly, so to speak, and he would hit this wall in the afternoon, and then his cholesterol started coming up, and they wanted to put him on statins. And of course, I'm a chiropractor. I'm into all things health, all things holistic, and I'm like, no way you're going on a statin. As God would have it, I started reading Breakthrough, which is by Suzanne Summers, and she talked about putting whole foods in your body, getting that really good nutrition, and I'm like, check, got that done. Next, she talked about pulling the bad stuff out and detoxing our body from the impurities. I'm like, check, got that done. And then she started talking about hormones. And every single symptom, it was like, check, 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 check with Dave. And he was only 36 years old. Now, I'm 2 years older than Dave, and I really was asymptomatic. But again, I'm a little extra. I've always been very proactive with my health. I've been obsessed with all things nutrition, all things holistic. And I always said I adjusted people on the outside with chiropractic and on the inside with nutrition. And it was a beautiful symbiotic relationship. Okay. So I read this book. I'm like, oh my gosh, Dave, I think you have low testosterone. I think you need your hormones balanced. Back then, there were really no hormone doctors, natural BHRT doctors in the Midwest. And so we got on a plane. We flew out to California to see her doctor. And 4 hours later, we walked out of that clinic, and Dave was not happy. I don't know how to say this. Dave was not happy. He'd had a testosterone shot. He'd had an antioxidant IV. This is from someone who does not like shots and needles. So he'd had like vitamin C, vitamin E, all these glutathione, all these really good antioxidants. He'd had a 1 hour breathing class because he was stressed out and his adrenals were tanked. Plus he was hangry. And so we walked out, and that night, no intimacy that night, okay? Let's just say that. But he woke up the next morning, you guys, and he's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't felt this good in years. I have never felt this good. The energy, the weight, just everything. And that was really a game changer. And we came back and we started implementing hormone balancing, natural, bioidentical, not synthetic, huge difference, bioidentical hormone replacement in my practice. And so we were kind of ahead of the curve before it was even a thing. And so we collaborated with the MD, and it was awesome. We blessed a lot of lives, nutraceuticals, BHRT, chiropractic. It was amazing. So that's our story, and we're sticking to it. But I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to share kind of, quote, the bad news, and then I'm going to share the good news. Or we can look at it like the challenges and then the solutions. And a lot of them come from LifeWise nutraceuticals, you guys. It's like God went before us before we came over here, and everything is just literally fell in place with our brilliant formulator. In my opinion, Dr. Tracy Gibbs is the absolute best formulator on the planet. He will never compromise on anything, any ingredient, any delivery system, anything at all. And you know what, as a doctor, that's really important to me, because if I'm going to put my name and my reputation, my license behind a product, I want to make sure it's never going to be compromised. And that hasn't always been the case with other platforms. That's why we are here, and we are so happy to be here. First of all, let's go through menopause. You know, more and more people are talking about it, and I am like raising my hands in the air. Thank goodness, finally somebody's saying all the things that nobody wanted to talk about forever. And so here's the technical definition of menopause, and it's officially when a woman doesn't have a cycle for a full year. So if you go 9 months and then you have a cycle, you start over again. And it's happening earlier and earlier because we live in a very toxic, unhealthy world. And most women are in perimenopause for well over 10 years. You guys, I want you to wrap your head around that, because if your wife is going through menopause and you're like, what happened to my wife? There is a reason for that. There is a cause, there is a fix, there's a solution, and we're going to talk about that. But on average, it's between women between the ages of 45 and 55 on average. And here are the 7 dwarves with their symptoms that can show up. Okay, I don't know if this is any of you or not, but just in case, I'm going to go through these symptoms. So if you're a woman, you're going to go, oh, I get that. And maybe you guys, this is what happens. This is what's so frustrating for me, because I'm very well versed in this. I'm very well educated in this. It's my passion. Maybe you felt these things. You go to your regular OB doctor and they're like, oh, you're fine. Sivi, you're fine. Your levels look normal for someone your age. And you're like, then why do I feel like this? This happened 5 times last week. I kid you not. I promise you. If this has happened to you, I would love for you to put it in the comments. I had women call me and they went in to their OB doctor because the first thing you want to do is get your levels tested to see where you're at. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. So get your levels tested, see where you're at, but get them tested from an integrative doctor, a functional medicine doctor, somebody who does this, who balances hormones. Because many times, 5 times last week, I had women go out, get their hormones checked. Their OB doctors said, oh, you look great. Your levels are fine where you're at. They're having all these symptoms that I'm going to talk about, and they handed them a pharmaceutical drug. I kid you not. I get a little testy, not going to lie, because why would we put a Band-Aid on something instead of fix the cause? Why would we? Okay. So here are the 7 dwarves of menopause. So sweaty. Maybe your wife is like throwing the covers off and throwing the covers on, and she's having the hot flashes and the night sweats. And the last thing that we want to do, guys, is if we are flashing in the middle of the night, the last thing that we want you, as much as we love you, and our love language could be physical touch, but the last thing we want you to do is cuddle with us. We are already hot. We are on fire. And so it means nothing. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with menopause, the sweaty dwarf of menopause. Okay. Dwarf number 2 is the sleepy dwarf. We can't sleep at night. We get 3 or 4 hours. We can't get to sleep. We can't stay asleep. And because we can't sleep, then we're grouchy the next day. We are irritable. We are short with you. We are tired. We have no energy. Then we have the psycho dwarf of menopause, where everything bothers us. We react and instead of respond. And you know the 24-hour rule that is really wise? Somebody does something to us, we're like, oh yeah, I'm going to take 24 hours to respond to that. Well, the 24-hour rule goes out the door. It is the 24-minute, the 24-second rule. There is no 24 anything. It's out the door. We're punching back when somebody says something, and we're like, we don't even recognize it ourselves, let alone our husbands recognize it, okay? Just know that there's a reason for that, okay? So that's the psycho dwarf of menopause, all dried up. I just said it. Yep, I said it. That is the 4th dwarf of menopause. 85% of women experience this. So I'm going to say it. I am going to tell truth, okay? And intimacy at that point can be painful. Then you have all of the head trash around that. I'm just going to leave it at that. But it is a real thing, and it's caused by imbalance of hormones. Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. That's what happens during menopause. Bloaty, the 5th dwarf of menopause. When you're all bloated and you start gaining weight around the middle, any of my menopausal mimes out there that have gained weight around the middle, you're like, I am exercising the same, I am eating the same, and I don't know where these 20 pounds, these 20 sticky pounds right around the middle came from. It is so frustrating. We don't want to work out as much because we're tired, because the tired dwarf of the sleepy dwarf of menopause, right? So we have less physical activity. We have decreased metabolism. Our thyroid gets all messed up, and our adrenals, we're stressed out, and our adrenals, our cortisol levels go up. We put more pounds on around the middle, and we crave sweets. Anybody relate? Anybody? That's the bloaty dwarf of menopause. Forgetful. Okay, now I love my dad. He is an amazing dad, but he gave me a gene where I just have a lot of squirrels in my day. Okay. And then I hit menopause and I was like, what just happened? I can't remember anything. I'll walk into a room. I forget why I went in the room. I have to go back to the other room to collect my thought, to go back to the room to remember. And then scattered, so scattered, I can't focus, brain fog through the roof. And I'm like, what is going on? And honestly, it was a little bit concerning. And I'm not a real, pretty much I just go with the flow. I don't really have a lot of worry. A lot of people have a lot of worry. That has not been one of my things, but I started to get worried because the brain fog, the memory, it was concerning. It was just hormones, okay? And then the last one is itchy. We get itchy everywhere. We get itchy skin, itchy body, itchy face, itchy other things. That's due to low estrogen, and low estrogen decreases our collagen. So everything dries up and shrinks up, and that's not good, okay? Actually, our collagen starts falling off in our late 20s. And so if we don't find a good support for that and a good natural support that helps our own body produce collagen again, then that's just gonna keep tanking. So we really wanna address that. Here's the bottom line. Women are often misunderstood, misdiagnosed, and we feel unheard. If you're going through this, have you ever felt unheard? And you're like, man, what is going on? And it's so frustrating. Here's what nobody's talking about really is Manopause, which is Andropause. And it's kind of the same thing. It happens a little bit differently for men. It's more just the T levels, although the others can be affected, but it's more the T levels. So women in their 20s, our testosterone runs between 80 and 120. That's when we're feeling great. When we're working out, our body uses more testosterone. We can crush those workouts. We can crush those runs. We have great sleep, great energy, thinking clearly. Everything's functioning great, right? Well, when I went and had mine tested, you guys, it was a 13. Yet I was asymptomatic. Men's testosterone in their 20s runs between 800 and 1200. That's when they're feeling great. They're crushing at the gym. They have great energy. Everything's working fantastic. Then testosterone starts falling off. When Dave had his testosterone tested, do you guys want to guess what it was? Remember all those symptoms? That wall, that man belly, that dad belly, that they wanted to put him on statins. It was a 136. And he was 36 years old, okay? It's happening younger and younger. So andropause typically happens between the ages of 40 and 60, but here's what happens. Testosterone starts falling off between 1 and 2% at the age of 30 for men. Did you get that? At the age of 30, your testosterone, men, starts decreasing 1 to 2% per year. Now, do you think you're going to feel great when your testosterone's at a 136 versus when you function optimally between 800 and 1200? So here are the symptoms for men in andropause: depression, decreased energy, decreased libido, ED, especially in the morning, increased fat, that dad belly, increased cholesterol. Does your doctor want to put you on a statin? Maybe get your T levels checked first. Just saying. Decreased muscle. They go to the gym and they just feel so weak. They're like, man, that was an awful workout. Bone loss, irritability. I literally was like, what happened to my husband? Before we went out there and he got everything balanced, I was like, who stole Dave and who did they replace him with? Because this was going on and he was so irritable. He'd hit that wall, like no motivation. Like, what just happened? It was all hormones. It was an easy fix. It's just what we didn't know at the time. And we didn't even know to look for it, you guys. So increased cholesterol, decreased muscle, bone loss, irritability, hot flashes. Yes, men can get hot flashes. True story. Decreased motivation, brain fog, and yes, they can get night sweats too. So if you're a guy and you're having any of those and you're at that age level, actually it's happening even less than 40. If you're experiencing those, I would go get your hormones checked. I would go get your T levels checked, okay? That's where I would start, just personally. Now, I'm gonna go through the Pause Power Pack, which I feel every single person should have on their auto ship. It's a great price point. It saves $98. It is incredible. I think we should have the Pause Power Pack, and then we should have the Deluxe Pause Power Pack. And I'm going to tell you what 3 products I'd add in there at the end. But right now there are 5 products in the Pause Power Pack. And if you are going through the pause, we want to empower you through the pause. And you need to be taking these 5 products every single month. That is going to help with a lot of your symptoms. And I am going to share a few testimonials as we go through here. Just know when I share our testimonials, it's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. That's not what we're saying. We're saying when you put great nutrition in your body, the body becomes the miracle that God designed it to be. Okay? The body's the miracle, not necessarily the nutrition. The nutrition helps the body become that miracle. So the Pause Power Pack has 5 products. The first one is the One, and that is our whole food vitamin pack. This is very foundational. We want to build this body on a strong foundation. We want to put high octane fuel in it, and it all starts with this. We don't want to build a foundation on sand. We want to build it on concrete, solid, with rebar, right? So that starts here. 6 little pills in chlorophyll capsules with an omega. So whole food vitamins, your trace minerals. We have a plant-based omega from the sea buckthorn plant, very high in omega-7, which helps with hormone balancing. We also have your reds, your greens, probiotics, prebiotics. We have enzymes. And I have to tell you, I've been taking vitamins since I was 16. My mom and dad were actually at Amway, so I took Nutrilite. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but I've been taking Nutrilite at 16 and then really good vitamins my entire life. And I started taking these when we first came over here. And I kid you not, I started detoxing. And I called up Tracy. I'm like, what the heck? I said, my face is broken out a little bit. I'm detoxing from these vitamins. Now, I did feel energy, a little bit of energy lift the very first time I took them. But I'm very in tune with my body. And like I said, I've been putting really high quality supplements in for a long time. And I'm like, I actually started detoxing. He started laughing. He goes, yeah, that's the chlorophyll capsules. So the chlorophyll capsules help our body detox. It's really good for gut health, you guys. So these are great for all of the dwarves. They really are, but especially the sleepy dwarf and the bloaty dwarf. And this is a non-negotiable for me. Let me just go through really quickly a few of the whole foods that are in here. Red algae from Iceland, sesbania from India, guava fruit, Indian gooseberry from India, holy basil, rose hips, nutritional yeast culture, your B vitamins from Norway and Sweden, lemon peels, your calcium from India, spirulina, alfalfa roots that grow 20 feet down where there's still minerals, broccoli, kale, and the list goes on. Now, do you think, let's just go common sense wise, do you think that would be better to put in your body than these little white powders grown in petri dishes that are called synthetic isolates? The answer is yes, obviously, right? And here's the deal. You can go get the vitamins that you're taking right now. Go get the bottle. I challenge you, go get the bottle if you're not taking these. Look at the source of vitamin C. If it says ascorbic acid, that is a synthetic isolate, okay? Look at the source of B12. If it says cyanocobalamin, that's really bad, okay? That is derived from cyanide. Look it up. And if it's methylated methylcobalamin, that's B12. That's better. People that carry the mutated MTHFR gene, which is about 66% of people right now, they can only detox at about 20 to 30% of somebody who doesn't have that mutated gene. And they cannot take cyanocobalamin. They have to have methylated vitamins. But all of that said, all of the synthetic isolates build up and are toxic to the kidneys or the liver at some point. I have a bunch of friends that have actually competed in fitness competitions over the years, and they've taken synthetic vitamins, and now they're having problems with their liver and their kidney enzymes because they've taken these synthetic vitamins, and it's actually done them more harm than good. So the bottom line, if you take your vitamins and you don't take them with food and you feel sick, chances are they're synthetic. So this is foundational and it is amazing. Hands down, unequivocally, the best vitamins I've ever taken in my life. And keep in mind, I've taken high-end vitamins my entire life. So love, love, love the One. Lift. Okay. How many of you, I want you guys to be honest. We're going to play it 100% tonight, right? Do you drink synthetic energy drinks? Do you drink synthetic energy drinks? Everybody that walks in with a synthetic energy drink around me gets a lecture. You can ask my husband. If I'm lying, I'm dying. True story. I've never ever had a monster. We do not want to find out what Sivi Helsel looks like with a monster drink. Some of our kids drink them, and trust me, they get lectures. But most of them have converted over to the Lift. Kiwi Strawberry is my absolute favorite. We have 5 different flavors. But you know what I love about this? Number one, how much are those energy drinks? Put that in the comments. How much are those energy drinks? But this is $1.65 a serving. And I venture to say that those energy drinks, those synthetic toxic soups that burn out your adrenals and make it impossible for you to lose weight in the future, yep, those. That's what you're doing when you're drinking those, just so you know. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be honest. Those cost more than $1.65. And they're definitely not healthy. So this has about 120 milligrams of caffeine, naturally sourced from green tea. So you get some antioxidants. It also has coconut water, which keeps you hydrated with electrolytes. And it has ashwagandha and maca root, adaptogenic herbs for mood food. So when I take this, I love this as a pre-workout and a mid-workout because it keeps me lifted. And man, I have a tonal at home. You can look it up. It's great. But I am crushing my workouts and I'm crushing on the pickleball court. That energy is just sustained. You don't have highs. You don't crash. It's sustainable energy. These are amazing. One of my favorite products for sure. So love our Lift. That helps with the sleepy dwarf, the forgetful dwarf, and the psycho dwarf because of the mood food. So love, love, love that. Next, we have the Perk. So this is a true story. I don't even like coffee. I've never liked coffee. I don't like the smell of coffee. I don't like the taste of coffee. I don't like coffee. However, this is a non-negotiable. And so what I do, I make a coffee shot. So 2 ounces of water. It's kind of like an espresso, I guess. But I put this in there and it has about 55 milligrams of caffeine from the coffee, naturally from the coffee. And I tell you what, 3 to 5 minutes, I am firing on all cylinders. I have an energy lift. I am focused. Here's why. We have some great ingredients here. Tracy, like I said, brilliant formulator, put an amazing formula together with us. We have the mushroom blend that has adaptogens, and it also helps with immune support and mental focus, resilience, all of that. Centella asiatica helps with focus. So that mental clarity that comes, you're sharp, you're focused, you're on point. Love that. And of course, it's mold-free, pesticide-free, all of that. Very pure coffee. And I just love this stuff. It also has ingredients that lift the dopamine, serotonin levels. So like I said, non-negotiable. And it's great right before sports because you're focused and on point. I feel like my hands are faster to the ball when I do this right before I play. So of course, the Perk helps with the sleepy, forgetful, and psycho dwarf, okay? Kind of like the Lift. And then we have Dream. So here's the deal. Sleep is nature's way to restore our health. You will never release weight if you're not getting adequate sleep. There's no way. And how many of us are not getting adequate sleep? So we have Dream. And this formula, unparalleled. I love it. I'm a 1 dream at night girl. Dave is sometimes mostly a 2 dream at night guy. And it is incredible. Saffron, man, game changer. Studies have shown it helps you get to sleep faster, stay asleep longer, and also it helps balance out the hormones. Those hot flashes, those night sweats, a lot of my women have had testimonials, personal testimonials, that it's really helped with those symptoms as well. We also have melatonin and L-theanine in here. This is a fabulous formula. What I love about this is there's these little strips and they literally go, you put them on the roof of your mouth and they go from the buccal lining of the roof of your mouth to your brain in 3 to 5 minutes. So you don't have to wait. So I usually do this like 5 minutes before I go to sleep and I am out. And actually I wear a Fitbit at night to track my sleep. And I couldn't believe that first week that I started using the Dream, it was so obvious on my Fitbit that I was getting that really good sleep, that deep sleep improvement, that REM sleep. And I felt so much better. I was waking up earlier and feeling awake all day long. And what I love about the Dream is you don't feel groggy in the morning when you wake up, because a lot of those sleep aids, especially the synthetic ones, don't even get me started on that. We don't have enough time for that. I'll stay on task tonight, you guys. But a lot of those, you'll wake up completely groggy throughout the day, and then you're chasing that energy because you haven't got that good sleep. And instead of just getting that really good sleep and waking up and staying focused, energetic all throughout the day, not hitting a wall. So love, love, love our dream. Of course, that helps with the sleepy dwarf and the sweaty dwarf of menopause. And last but not least in our Pause Power Pack is clarity. And I'm going to take one of these right now. I've already had 2 today because we had a 3-hour pickleball lesson from the pro. And so I had one at the beginning of the lesson and one mid lesson because he was going over a lot. And so I love this. And so you just put this on the roof of your mouth. It's like a breath mint. It like tastes like peppermint to me. And it dissolves within 3 to 5 minutes and you are on point. I probably should have done that beforehand, shouldn't I have? But I love clarity. Cannot live without this product. Absolutely love it. It's really good for the forgetful dwarf of menopause. And it really helps with mental focus. It helps with concentration. It helps with brain fog. It has vinpocetine in it. Incredible studies have been done on the synthetic version of that. In some countries, periwinkle is actually a synthetic drug, a pharmaceutical drug. And they've done studies on that periwinkle that is vinpocetine that we use in here. And it helps with memory. So that's incredible. It has alpha GPC, huperzine A. This formulation is incredible. I can't function without it because like I said, I get that gene from my dad and then menopause on top of it. There were a lot of squirrels throughout my day. So love, love, love the clarity. Those are the 5 ingredients or 5 products in our Pause Power Pack. It's discounted $98. And I am telling you, if you are having any of those symptoms on that list, whether you're in menopause or menopause, that's the pack I would go to for sure, especially menopause. But if you're having all of those, then I would add it in for menopause. They're just great foundational products, honestly. Now, if I was putting together, wink, wink, Rob, if you're watching, if I was putting together a deluxe Pause Power Pack, then I would add 3 products, okay? Because these are game changers. These are healing marriages. These are saving marriages. I'm going to tell a story about a patient the other day. Let's just say her marriage is suffering in the intimacy section, okay? And she was tired. She would have to take a nap as soon as she got home. She is not balancing her hormones. She had them checked. They wanted to put her on synthetic drugs. And so I gave her 2 samples when she came for her chiropractic adjustment the other day. I gave her a dream so she could sleep really well at night, get that really good sleep. And I gave her an enhance him, okay? And this is a natural T booster, 5 Ayurvedic herbs that help naturally raise T levels, okay? So I gave her 1 each. I got a text from her. She said, Sivi, this is the first day in months that I haven't had to take a nap as soon as I got home from work. The first day in months. 2 samples. You guys, that is crazy. That's how demonstrable, that's how powerful nutrition is when it actually gets in the body down to the cell nucleus and gets absorbed. And those are the products that we have. So dream, and she took a dream at night. She got that really good sleep. Took this the next morning before she went to work. She has an early shift. And she said, I had all that sustained energy. I didn't hit a wall. And I just kept going when I got home from work. Isn't that incredible? I love that. Those texts, those phone calls, they never get old. So Enhance Him is a natural T booster. You can use it 2 different ways. You can take it daily to naturally, gradually raise your T levels. Or you can take it 10 minutes before intimacy if you're a guy. And it does different things. But remember, I'm going to read you right off the little Enhance folder. Effects of low testosterone for men: hair loss, mood swings, loss of muscle mass, decreased sense of well-being, increased body fat, sleeplessness, fatigue, difficulties of concentration, memory difficulties, decreased endurance, decreased libido, deteriorated bone mass. So when you take that 10 minutes before intimacy, it's going to help a lot of those symptoms. If you take it daily, the testimonials that I've received is both from men and women. It really helps them be strong in the gym. I am crushing my workouts. I started taking this daily. I do balance my hormones bioidentically. So does my husband. And we started taking this daily. And our gains are about 20 to 30% in the gym. I love seeing 9 PRs today, Sivi, 9 personal records. So I'm getting older, 57 years young, and I still have 9 PRs, 8 PRs, 3 PRs, 4 PRs, but it's only really happened since I started taking this daily. So it really helps with energy. It also helps with some of that joint discomfort because there are a lot of testosterone receptors in our joints. There are a lot of testosterone receptors in our heart. There are a lot of testosterone receptors in our brain. So this is, I love this for many different reasons. For women, thinning hair, muscle weakness, unexplained fatigue, depressed mood, weight gain, decreased stamina, lowered sense of optimism, lowered libido, decreased desire for sex, dry skin, anxious thoughts, decrease in bone mass. So those are the low T symptoms. And if you are experiencing any of those, I would highly recommend Enhance. Also, Tracy, like I said, got whipped before us. And these are really good menopausal products in addition to all of this. But this is the Enhance Her. So this is a all-natural massage oil, neroli oil. You guys, it smells so good. I'm going to put it on my hand. I don't know if you can see this. It smells really, really good, but it is so smooth. It is not greasy at all, and it is incredible. It smells good. It smells like the spa in Cancun where we go. So he has key ingredients in here like neroli oil, all natural organic coconut oil from the Philippines. He has organic cold pressed Sicilian olive oil, lavender oil, cranberry seed. It's really good for the skin, really good for scars, really good for stretch marks, and really good for those intimate moments. Okay, so that's the Enhanced Her. And then last in the Deluxe, I would also add our new Balance, which is awesome. It'll really be helpful for that bloaty dwarf of menopause because this is our natural GLP-1 support, which helps balance out those blood sugars. And we know that a lot of us in menopause or andropause, we become insulin resistant. And so I love having an all natural product that really helps support that. So that's what I have for you tonight, you guys. I hope you took good notes. I hope you learned something. Maybe you have some friends, some girlfriends, and they're going through some of this, or maybe you guys have some guy friends that are going through this. Guys typically don't talk about this stuff. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. And I would just share with them. I would definitely share with them because we have key products here that can address so many of these dwarves of menopause. There are so many men and women suffering through this stage of life, and they really don't have to. So thank you so much, you guys, for hanging in there with me on In the Lab with Dr. Sivi. I love you guys, and I will see you soon. It was so great seeing all of you at the LifeWise convention. Go out, make it a great evening. God bless everybody. Good night.